In today's episode, we're going to tell you why the Graphtec is one of the best machines for making vinyl signs, especially when the designs are very difficult and it almost makes it look like they were made with a printer. So today we're going to give you some tips on how to make difficult signs like this. Which, by the way, car magnets is the #1 sold item in our business. And if you haven't checked out the last week's episode, we made these wall decals with our Graphtec too. So make sure you stick around, give us a like if you like this video, and subscribe if you're new. So let's begin.
This is the original image, and if you guys are a VIP member, make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to show you in a video, a more detailed video about how we came out with this image or the design and what we had to do and the way we did it to be able to make it work with our vinyl cutter. And this is what we're gonna make it look like. In the end, we had to do little modifications, make it less colors, and our design is ready. We can start cutting it now. So let's go to the vinyl cutter and align our vinyl. Before I start cutting the vinyl, I'm gonna tell you exactly the materials and equipment we're gonna use for this video or for this project. Of course, the vinyl cutter we're gonna use is the Graphtec CE 6060, and this is a 24-inch vinyl cutter. And the type of vinyl we're gonna use, since this is going to be 3 different colors, we have all the colors here. The blue and is Oracle 651 vinyl permanent. We got the red color, and we have our scrap pieces of vinyl that we're going to use. And also the type of transfer we're going to use is our favorite, the Art Tape Clear Choice AT75, same as AT75.1. We're going to do a wet and dry application. That's one of the cool things about this type of vinyl, that you can mix it. You can do dry and wet applications. And of course, we're gonna use a Graphtec. And another very important tool, lots of coffee. We're gonna need lots of coffee because this project is gonna have like 3 different colors. So it's gonna be a challenge. Of course, the very first thing you gotta do, make sure you turn on your vinyl cutter. And now I'm gonna use the 10-yard. Well, it's less than 10-yard because we've used it a couple times. And I'm gonna pull some of the vinyl to the front. This is a very important step. We always make sure that we align it so we don't waste any material. And of course, our vinyl cutter has the little alignments, and it tells us if the vinyl is aligned or not. Then we're gonna lock it and then send it to the back. And just pay close attention to how much the vinyl moves. And if it moves a lot, it means your vinyl needs to be realigned. I think it's perfect the way it is. So let's start cutting the first one. I was trying to start cutting the vinyl and I totally forgot to plug it. No wonder it wouldn't work.
What a great teacher he is.
Yeah.
Come on, so get it together. Have some more coffee.
The software that we use to work on the image is CorelDRAW X6. This is an older version. And the software that came with our vinyl cutter, which is totally free, I'm talking about the software, it is Cutting Master 3. And the settings we're gonna use, our blade right now, it's been used quite a few times, so it's a little bit old. And the offset is gonna be at 0, speed 38, acceleration 1, cut force we're gonna have it at 12, and as I said, it is the 45-degree blade. Now it's time to start cutting our first color. And one thing I want to mention, and we have said it in so many videos, like if we could easily use this here with the Graphtec, like this size. Unlike with the Cameo, we couldn't use it unless we found a cutting mat this big. I think the vinyl measures about 9 inches, and we would need a cutting mat definitely if we had to use the Cameo 4. And it would be a real challenge using this piece, but we don't have to worry about that with the Graphtec. All right, our vinyl is ready. Now we can cut it, and as usual, we added some weeding boxes to make it easier to weed out. That'll make it really easy for one person to work on this. Now it's time to start cutting the red color, and we're gonna use a smaller roll. That's why we try to get at least the most popular colors. We try to keep different size rolls. Like we usually have the 12, 15, and the 24-inch. And I'm gonna have to move the wheels a little bit. It's not gonna be too long. It's gonna be kind of small, so I don't have to worry too much about aligning it. I'm still gonna do it. This is what I was talking about earlier about this vinyl. Like you can cut it without using a cutting mat since it has the backing paper. Unfortunately, if you were to use the Cameo, you would definitely need a cutting mat to be able to cut it, like the width of it. But since we're using this, we can adjust the size. We can move the wheels. We could even cut it like this big, but we're gonna try to use all the vinyl, and so I'm gonna move this like that, and I think we're good right there. This is the best feature about this vinyl cutter besides the speed and the details that it cuts.
Yeah, you definitely get what you pay for.
All right guys, it's time to start weeding out our blue color, but I want to show you This one is the kind of like a test that we did, and the only challenges were the little letters. Since they're kind of small, the customer added so much information. We advised them to get rid of some of it. He didn't really want to, which in the end, you know, it's up to him. And the little details like the hand. So I'm gonna be really careful when I get to these little lines. And maybe for the next time, if we make them again, I'm gonna make it a little thicker. But now it's time to start weighting this out. We always talk about weighting boxes and how it makes it a lot easier, especially with designs like this, when you have a lot of details and like really thin line letters and stuff. And I think this font is perfect for that.
I mean, it's not the worst. We have probably done worse fonts. In my opinion, what they call those, the cursive type of fonts, those are really headaches for me. But I mean, it all depends on the type, because some of them are thicker than the other ones.
I mean, of course, if you guys have a digital printer, that's something you don't even have to worry about. But if you are doing this process, then that's when the real challenge comes. And I'm gonna show you something here at the bottom. The rectangle, this is gonna be, I don't know what this will be called, like a negative, like you get rid of the inside of it. Even though it's the same color, it makes it look nice.
Yeah, actually makes it look like even more colors, even though it's just it will be the color of the background of the magnet. And by the way, if you guys are in charge of making your designs for your customers, one of the tips that I can personally give you is to do not compromise yourself with very difficult fonts. That's, everyone starts somehow, and we made those mistakes in the past. You gotta think too when it's time to weed out, and you gotta think about that too. So make sure you don't use very thin or difficult fonts.
And something I want to mention, I know that when you have a really challenging image, it's always good to have some extra help. Like we have plenty of help usually, and that makes it really easy or easier. Like this little image, I'm gonna make sure that I take my time, or we take our time to weed out. Look at the little details here.
I gotta say, whoever designed his logo did a pretty good job.
All right, now it's time to start weeding this out, the red color, and this is another example of those weeding boxes. Just gotta be really careful with our little registration marks. I don't want to mess those up. Oops, I just did that. No, actually no, it wasn't the weed box, the alignment.
And these are all the colors we're gonna use for this design.
And we're gonna use our Magnum Magnetics 30 mil. And yeah, you can get them through the links in the description of the video. The next step would be to cut the magnets according to the size, or you can also get your materials if you go to our website, which is www.rdidecals.com. That's where you can get all the equipment and materials.
It is time to cut our magnets, and this is how we do it. We just use the ruler to leave us a tiny mark on the size that the customer requested, and then we're gonna use the blue ruler to cut the magnet, which you can also get it through the links below on our website. And once they have the ruler aligned with the marks they made with the box cutter, you don't need no fancy knife or blade. Just a simple box cutter will do the job.
It's time to start applying our transfer on our vinyl, and we're gonna use our favorite transfer, the Graphtec AT75.1. That was kind of loud. Sorry about that. You could also use or get the tape application rollers if you don't have extra help. That makes it easier to apply your transfer. And this is how we're gonna do this. And now it's time to start applying our layers of vinyl to our magnets. This is the way we're gonna apply the first layer. Since this is the main one, this is gonna guide us where to apply the next or the following colors. So we're gonna just measure it, center it, and then after that, we're gonna apply the red color. Of course, we're gonna use our registration marks, but the first layer, we're gonna do a dry application, and then the following colors, we're gonna make wet application and using our registration mark. Now, we're gonna use our cutting knife to get rid of half of the backing paper, and then we're gonna apply that section, and then we'll do the top section. We use this technique, use a lot of little pieces of tape to hold the decal in place, and also the way Luis is applying, he's going kind of fast from side to side. This is how we avoid getting bubbles. I'm trying to avoid touching the vinyl from underneath it. I don't want to add any grease or dirt to the vinyl. Now it's time to do the top section. Repeat the same steps. Now it's time to remove the transfer, and we'll do it carefully. Yeah, remember, this is a high tag transfer, so plus the letters are very thin. Something I want to mention, I double checked the information, like the name of the business and everything, since you guys can see that we have the social medias, like we have Facebook and Google. The name changes a little bit, and I just make sure that we could find our customer on those websites or social medias, and in case we needed to fix something, but it works perfect. Now it's time to do the next color, and we're gonna use our rapid tag. And for those that keep asking if it affects the adhesive on the vinyl, it does not. But I'm only talking for Oracle 651. I'm not talking for other brands. I mean, the reason we use it is because it makes it easy to reposition it. You have a few minutes or a few seconds. I guess it affects it in the very short term. Like, it gives you a few seconds to move it around and reposition it in case you need to, like the way we're gonna do it right now. But it does not affect it long term. Now we get all the rapid tag out. We're gonna give it a few seconds or even a minute to dry out. And I noticed something. I think we're missing a letter here. We're gonna have to fix that. I think we're missing the W, which is not a big deal. We can always fix it, no problem. It's time to try to remove the transfer. I'm gonna do it carefully. We don't want any more mess ups. I don't even know how this happened. Like when we weighted it out, like we didn't notice it.
We're not paying attention. But we didn't do this on purpose. This will happen to you because this is part of the learning process, but we're gonna show you how we fix it.
It's time to apply the next or the last layer of vinyl, and we're gonna repeat the same steps. Use rapid tag. I'm actually gonna let Luis, because I'm actually making it worse. And sometimes you will notice that the registration marks, they don't match 100%, like Luis was saying earlier. I mean, we didn't catch it on video, but sometimes you gotta focus more on the image itself, but you gotta pay attention to how the shape or the image is taking shape.
All right, now I'm gonna remove the registrations since we don't need them anymore. And a lot of people asked if we damaged the surface. No, you just pick really good on the corner, just a little bit, lift it, and then pull.
This is one of the great advantages of this vinyl cutter. As you can see, I'm gonna use a little scrap piece of vinyl, especially if you're a person like me, tends to mess up quite often. You know, this feature is great. It will save your bacon.
All right, now we're gonna use one of the transfers that we used, and we already put it in the trash, but
it's okay. I'm just going to make sure I squeegee enough and make it as flat as I can. All right, so if you can see here, the letter matched, or the little space that we added, and now I can remove that. And then apply any pressure on this section, because I just want that to match.
I'm glad so mess up, so we show you this extra tip.
All right, guys, so we came to the end of this video. And remember, if you are a VIP member, make sure you stay tuned for this episode on how we worked the image out, how we made it possible for a vinyl cutter to use that image. So we're gonna make sure to add the link in the end of this video too, once the episode is available, obviously. Thank you so much. Make sure that you guys give us a like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Also, go and check out our store if you guys want to support us. Additionally, getting all the tools that you guys see here, the cutting mat, safety ruler, squeegees, cutting knife, and all the different tools that we use throughout this video, as well as the equipment and the materials, the vinyl. See you guys until the next one. Thank you for your support.